So, very good afternoon, everyone. As in earlier videos, we have discussed about different designs of clinical trial as well as different phases of clinical trials. If you remember, in phases of clinical trials, we have discussed about phase 0 clinical trial, phase 1 clinical trial, 2 as well as 3. And after completion of phase 3 clinical trials, the sponsor submit the application to respective regulatory authority where they want approval. So in the form of NDA that we call new drug applications. And on the basis of that NDA applications, regulatory authority may approve the product for the marketing or disapprove or ask for the modifications. So this after if suppose the product is approved by the regulatory authority or drug is approved by the regulatory authorities for the marketing, then next phase, phase 4 clinical trials start, and pharmacovigilance is one of the phase 4 clinical trials. There are under phase 4 clinical trial, there are different studies also. There are a post-marketing surveillance studies where case control studies, cohort studies, everything is covered. So pharmacovigilance is also the one of the post-marketing surveillance studies where particular major objective is to check or to analyze the behavior of that particular molecule in a large group of populations. As you know, when we test the molecule in a clinical trial, there is a limited number of subjects. There are a inclusion and exclusion criteria, but when the drug reached in a large number of populations, so there are many cases where drug is showing very good effects and as well as safe profile in clinical trial, but when it reached into a large group of population, it behaved differently, and later on these drugs has been withdrawn on the basis of pharmacovigilance data. So in pharmacovigilance, whether pharmacovigilance companies are doing or sponsors at their sites, so this pharmacovigilance activity is divided into different teams. One team is a case processing team. There is a team of medical reviewers. There is a team of statistical and signaling team. There is a team of aggregate reporting team. So majorly these different teams work together in a pharmacovigilance. So I am going to discuss one by one about these teams. So first one is your case processing team. As its name indicates, this is the team which process the cases. And from where you got these cases, these ADRs will come from or are particularly reported by the physicians or the medical care professionals, and where they report, where they enter this information. If suppose any patient got any ADRs and that patient has told to the physician, so physician has to fill that information in a standardized form, and that form is available in the regulatory websites in India's in CDSCO. That we call ADR reporting form. So that is a form where the ADR related information has to be filled, and that form will contain different sections about the patient detail, about the particular suspected drug, about the ADRs, and about the reportage details. So these we call that particularly this case processing team got these cases, and first thing what case processing team do, they check the validity of the cases. So they will check on the basis of certain criteria whether the case is valid or not. Means the ADR reporting form which has been filled is valid or not valid. So there are four different criteria on that basis that case will become valid or invalid. First, every valid case should have that patient details, should have that ADR reporting details, should have that suspected drug informations, and reporters informations who have reported that particular ADR. So all these informations, if available in ADR reporting case form, so that case you will say yes, this is a valid case. If suppose you got ADR reporting form where you are not getting a information related to suspected drug or related to suspected ADR or related to patient detail, so that will comes under category of invalid case. So in case of invalid case, the case processing team will take the follow up. Case processing team will ask about the missing information, It doesn't mean if the case is invalid, so you have to be withdraw and process. No, you have to be take the follow up, and you will try the best to get that missing information. So if the case is valid, so after that this case processing team do the trials of cases. Trials of cases means prioritizations, means which case is first priority. So as you know, these cases you have to be submit to the regulatory authorities timelines according to the timelines of the regulatory authority. So as you know, for serious cases, timeline is very short. For non-serious, timeline is long. So depending upon the cases, this case processing teams will do the prioritization of the cases and then report to the regulatory authorities. But before reporting, these cases will go to another teams before reporting to the regulatory authority, and that team we call medical review team. And medical review team particularly contains group of peoples who have medical background, MBBS, MD, or even PhD in pharmacology are there in medical review teams. And these teams do medical coding and causality assessment of the cases. Medical coding means they convert that particular event into a standardized medical term by using medical dictionary like MEDRA, WHO, DDT. There are so many medical dictionaries, so they will use and convert into a standardized event form, and this team will do the causality assessment of cases. So what does it means by causality assessment? Causality assessment means the how much that particular drug is responsible for that particular ADR. So for causality assessment, there are different methods. There are a WHO UMC scale, there is a Naranjo scale, there are a set of questions. You have to be see certain criteria, temporal relationship, whether the D challenge, re challenge, all these things you have to be see, and you do the causality assessment of that particular case and submit to the case processing team. And finally, that case processing team will submit that case to the regulatory authorities. There is another teams in pharmacovigilance. There is a statistical or signaling team which do the signal analysis, and particularly this team have more significance in case of PEBRAR, where signal sections you have to be added. So PEBRAR is a particularly a document, periodic benefit evaluation risk report. Particularly we have to be submit in a European Union countries. Many times it says PSUR or PEBRAR, but PEBRAR contains your much more information as compared to PSUR. If you see the sections of PSUR and PEBRAR, you will get a huge differences. PSUR normally contains 10 sections, whereas a PEBRAR have a 20 sections. So PEBRAR is a means big report as compared to PSUR. So in PEBRAR, we have to add signal analysis. We have to be apply some statistical test like chi-square test to check the proportional analysis or disproportionalities among the cases. So this team do that analysis and provide to the aggregate reporting team. So there is a aggregate reporting team, and particularly this reporting team will do the analysis of cases with a fixed time of intervals. That means they collect the data for a 1 year or 6 months depending upon the country requirements, and include that information, compile that in a particular document. That document we call PSUR. That's why it's a aggregate reporting team. So in case of India's, we have to be submit the PSUR in every 6 months for first 2 years, then subsequent 2 years annually basis. So according to that one, your PSUR cycle will be fixed according to the country requirements. If country requirement is annually, then your PSUR is from, suppose from today, if you are doing, then today is 8th March. So 8th March 2021 to 7th March 2022 will be your first PSUR if requirement is on annual basis. If it's on 6 months, then your reporting interval will be different. And this PSURs, PEBRAR, I told you, this is a periodic benefit evaluation reports. There is a pattern that is we call periodic adverse drug experience report. Particularly, we are submitted these reports to the US, and SCR is the safety evaluation report. We are submitting to the US, particularly for the generic product. PPR for Brazil, we are submitting pharmacovigilance assessment reports. These are the aggregate reporting teams who collect these data, and in these one they have to be means aggregate the data not related to marketing authorization status of the molecules, changes to RSI information, regulatory updates. You have to be include the sale of particular molecules to calculate that patient exposure in terms of patient treatment year or patient treatment course. So all these informations you have to collect that aggregate reporting. Do that even in aggregate reportings in these PSU or PEBRA, there is a section of literature. There is a cases means on the basis of cases, your cases will be divided: pregnant cases, children cases, elder population cases, medication error. So everything you have to be, and then you have to make the conclusion and submit to the particular regulatory authority. So this is about brief idea about how many teams are working. Typically in every pharmacovigilance systems, these teams are there, and these teams work together to achieve the objective of that particular pharmacovigilance of that particular molecules. So this is all about, and I hope you got an ideas what actually the pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is not only the just to collect the cases and submit to the regulatory authorities. It's about analysis, and if you see these documents carefully, you will find there are a number of sections. So in different videos, we will talk on these number of different sections in these reports, and about the causality assessments, how to do that, how the cases will be assessed and fall into category of certain, probable, possible, or unlikely. So thank you very much, and all the best for your exams. I think next week you have your exams, so I will try to cover one or two more topics, or let me know which one you want to cover. So I will cover it. Thank you very much.